You have waited. Perhaps for days, for months, for years, you've watched others ascend their mountains, cross their valleys, and find their peace while you remain suspended in time, in limbo. You've asked, when will it be my time? When will my breakthrough come? But here you are, tired and waiting still, hoping for God's restoration. But what if I told you the waiting itself is part of the process? What if the signs of your breakthrough were not distant, but right in front of you here, now waiting for you to notice? There is a peculiar stillness that arises before anything shifts. The surface of a lake, before it's stirred by wind, remains undisturbed, deceptively calm. You might think nothing is happening. You might feel forgotten. But understand, this stillness is the universe drawing its breath, preparing to act. It's in this silence that the unseen begins to move. When life becomes quiet and still, instead of fearing stagnation, recognize it as the prelude to transformation. When you start to notice subtle synchronicities, know this is no accident. The universe communicates in whispers. An old friend calls at just the right time, or a door you thought long shut reopens. Things begin to align in ways that perhaps to the logical mind seem coincidental. But deep within, you recognize these as signs, a glimpse of divine order weaving its way through your life. Your breakthrough is already at work. Even in the midst of waiting, you might experience bursts of clarity and vitality. A sense of direction returns, a spark reignites. You feel alive again, even though the circumstances outside have not changed. This is not a fluke. It's your spirit waking up to what's coming, reminding you of who you are. The restoration begins within before it manifests externally. Trust that surge of energy is pointing to what lies ahead. And yet, strangely, just when you feel closest to your breakthrough, the world around you might push back harder than ever. Challenges arise, obstacles multiply, resistance seems to grow. Do not be fooled into thinking this is a sign of failure. On the contrary, it is a test, a final refining of your strength, a push to see if you truly trust the path you're on. For it is said, the night is darkest just before the dawn. At some point, your faith becomes unshakable, not because circumstances have changed, but because you have changed. In the waiting, you've learned to trust, not in guarantees, but in the deeper knowing that all things have their season. Despite the world giving you no reason to believe, something in you has become resolute. It is this faith, untethered from outcomes, that signals you are ready. And finally, there comes a moment when you no longer need to control the narrative. You release the desire to force your breakthrough to come in a certain form. You let go. And in that surrender, you open the door for the unexpected. Because breakthroughs rarely arrive in the package we expect, but always in the form we need. The moment you release your tight grip on how it should happen, the universe rushes in uninhibited to surprise you. Perhaps you've been tired of waiting. But in that very exhaustion is the sign that your waiting has done its work. The restoration you seek is already on its way, not because you earned it, but because the time is right. So look again, not at the world outside, but within. The signs are already there. Your breakthrough is near, closer than you imagine. All you have to do is open your eyes, let go, and let it come. There is a moment, a quiet moment, before any great shift occurs, when everything around you seems unnervingly still. You look at your life, your surroundings, and see no signs of movement, no indications that anything is about to change. It feels as if time itself has slowed, leaving you suspended between what was and what could be. The silence can feel oppressive, like a heavy weight pressing down on your spirit. You wonder, has God forgotten me? Have I been abandoned? But what if this stillness is an abandonment? What if it's the quiet before the breakthrough, the pause before the grand crescendo? Nature has a way of speaking to us through patterns. Think of the sky just before a storm, the eerie calm that blankets everything. The birds stop singing, the wind ceases its dance, and the air becomes heavy with anticipation. You know in your bones that something is about to happen, even though you cannot see or hear it yet. This is the same stillness that comes before a breakthrough in your life. It's a sacred space, a quietness not of absence, but of preparation. The universe is aligning things in ways you cannot perceive, arranging circumstances, people, and opportunities in intricate patterns. Beneath the surface, everything is in motion, though to your eyes all may seem frozen. This is the time when your faith is most tested, for it is in this silence that many lose hope, mistaking it for delay or failure. Yet this pause is necessary. It is in the quiet that you are invited to go inward, to reflect, to prepare yourself for the transformation that is coming. Just as a seed lies dormant beneath the soil, gathering the strength that needs to break through, you too are gathering unseen forces during this silence. The waiting isn't wasted time, it's a period of gestation, of quiet becoming. Often we resist this stillness because it feels like nothingness. We are conditioned to expect constant activity, visible progress, and tangible results. But in the spiritual journey, the most profound movements often happen in silence. This is the space where growth occurs, where inner shifts take root, preparing you for what's next. To those who are patient enough to listen, this silence speaks volumes. It says, "Be still, the time is near." So in this quiet moment, when the noise of the world seems far away and your breakthrough feels distant, remember that the silence is not an ending. It is the fertile ground in which your restoration is being born. The storm is coming, yes, but not to bring chaos, rather to wash away the old and usher in the new. The silence is merely its herald. Sometimes life begins to move in mysterious ways. You start noticing little things, small coincidences that seem to line up just right, as if some invisible hand is orchestrating events in the background. You run into an old friend unexpectedly, and they offer a piece of advice you didn't even know you needed. Or perhaps you come across a book, an article, or a quote that feels as though it was placed in front of you at precisely the right moment. You might brush these things off as random occurrences, but deep down you know they carry more weight than mere chance. These moments of unexplainable alignment are not accidents. They are part of a larger pattern, subtle signals that your breakthrough is closer than you realize. The universe communicates not in grand declarations, but in whispers, and it's up to you to tune in. When life begins to align in ways that seem oddly perfect, as though the pieces of a puzzle are finally clicking into place, it's a sign that something greater is at work. It's like when you walk through a dense forest and for the briefest moment the trees part and you catch a glimpse of the sky, a flash of clarity in an otherwise tangled journey. These moments are not permanent, but they are enough to remind you that there is a path, that things are moving in your favor, even if it's not obvious on the surface. You may notice that people suddenly appear in your life with exactly what you need, whether it's an opportunity, a connection, or simply a kind word. It might feel like a string of coincidences, but the deeper truth is that these alignments are part of the unfolding plan, preparing you for the breakthrough that is on its way. Sometimes the universe uses these synchronicities to nudge you in the right direction, to let you know you're on the right path, even when things still feel uncertain. In these moments, pay attention. These are not random occurrences, they are indicators of divine timing. When you begin to see the interconnectedness of events, when seemingly unrelated things start to link together in meaningful ways, it's a clear sign that the forces around you are working in harmony to bring about the change you've been waiting for. You may not always understand how or why these things happen, but trust that they are leading you somewhere important. It's as if the entire cosmos is conspiring on your behalf, gently guiding you towards your breakthrough. And while you may not see the full picture yet, these glimpses, these unexplainable alignments are proof that the restoration you seek is closer than you think. The pieces are falling into place and soon everything will become clear. There comes a moment, often when you least expect it, where something shifts within you. After a long period of waiting, of feeling stuck or lost, a spark ignites inside. It may not make sense, especially if your circumstances haven't changed. You look around and nothing outwardly is different. Your problems are still there. The challenges remain, but within something has awakened. It's as if a fresh wind has blown through your soul, bringing with it a sense of clarity, focus, and energy that you haven't felt in a long time. This renewed sense of purpose is one of the clearest signs that your breakthrough is near. You suddenly feel motivated again, inspired to take action, even in areas of your life where you had previously felt disheartened. It's not that everything has magically become easy, but your perspective has shifted. What once seemed like an insurmountable mountain now feels like a challenge you are equipped to face. It's as though you've been given new eyes to see the situation differently, and with that, a surge of energy fills you. This shift often comes quietly, almost unexpectedly. One day you wake up and a sense of direction returns. Maybe it's a sudden idea that excites you, a new project, or a forgotten passion reigniting. You feel drawn to move forward, to take steps toward a future that no longer feels so distant or impossible. This isn't random. It's the universe preparing you for what's ahead. It's as if your spirit is awakening, getting ready for the opportunities that are about to appear. Even more powerful is the realization that this energy isn't tied to external validation. You might not have more money in your bank account. You might not have landed that dream job or solved the crisis you're facing, but still something inside has shifted. It's a deep knowing, a certainty that things are about to change. Your renewed energy is a preview of what's coming. It's as though your soul already knows that the breakthrough is near and is aligning your mind and body to prepare for it. What's important is to recognize this renewed energy for what it is, a sign of divine timing. It's not just a fleeting burst of motivation, but a signal that the waiting period is ending and the restoration you've been seeking is close at hand. This is the moment where you are being prepared to receive, where your inner world is aligning with the outer shifts that are about to unfold. You might feel compelled to start laying the groundwork to begin acting on the new inspiration that has come to you. Don't dismiss it. This is the universe giving you the energy you need to step into your breakthrough. In this moment, trust your instincts, that spark of clarity, that inner drive. It's not an illusion. It's a sign that something is happening, that change is in the air. The energy you're feeling isn't just for the sake of it. It's preparing you to step into the next phase of your journey. Something inside you knows that the time for waiting is almost over. What was once dormant within you is now alive again, and with it comes the strength and focus to embrace the transformation that is just around the corner. Just when you start to feel that your breakthrough is near, when the signs of change seem to appear on the horizon, life often takes a surprising turn. Instead of things getting easier, they seem to get harder. Obstacles multiply, challenges intensify, and it feels as though everything is pushing against you. It can be confusing, even discouraging. You may think, why now when I'm so close? Why is everything falling apart when I've been holding on for so long? This resistance, this sudden increase in difficulty is not a sign of failure. In fact, it is one of the clearest indications that you are on the verge of something great. The reason things seem to be getting harder is because you are nearing a breakthrough. And with every breakthrough comes a final test, a refining fire that forces you to dig deeper, to prove your resolve, and to shed whatever still holds you back. Think of a seed pushing its way through the soil. It faces the greatest resistance just before it breaks through the surface. The weight of the earth is heaviest in those last moments, but that pressure is precisely what gives the seed the strength that needs to emerge into the light. Similarly, the resistance you're feeling is not there to stop you. It's there to fortify you, to ensure that when your breakthrough comes, you are ready to embrace it fully. Sometimes this increased resistance comes in the form of unexpected setbacks, things that seem to go wrong out of nowhere. Perhaps a relationship is tested, or you face difficulties at work. Or maybe old fears and doubts resurface, causing you to question whether you're really capable of moving forward. These challenges, while frustrating, are actually helping you. They force you to confront the parts of yourself that still need healing, the fears that must be faced, and the weaknesses that need to be turned into strengths. They are the final hurdles before the finish line. In these moments, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, to question whether you are truly on the right path. But it is crucial to understand that resistance often comes just before a major shift. This is the universe asking, are you really ready? Are you committed to seeing this through no matter what? And your response to these challenges will determine whether you rise or falter. If you can stand firm in the face of resistance, if you can keep moving forward despite the difficulties, then you are proving to yourself and to the universe that you are ready for the blessings that await. It's important to remember that increased resistance doesn't mean you are failing. On the contrary, it means that you are pushing up against the very limits of your old life, breaking through barriers that once held you back. It is a sign that you are expanding, growing, and preparing to enter a new phase. The intensity of the challenge reflects the magnitude of the breakthrough that is coming. In these moments of resistance, don't retreat. Don't allow the difficulty to convince you that you are unworthy of what lies ahead. Instead, recognize it as part of the process. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to strengthen your resolve, to prove to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. The greater the challenge, the greater the breakthrough on the other side. So when the pressure mounts, when the resistance feels overwhelming, know that it is not there to break you. It is there to build you, to prepare you for the restoration that is just within reach. You are not being punished, you are being refined. The resistance is simply a sign that you are nearing the edge of transformation. The breakthrough is closer than you think, and this final test of endurance is the last step before you step into the fullness of your restoration. There is a point in the waiting, in the journey toward breakthrough, where something remarkable happens. Despite the chaos around you, despite the external circumstances that show no signs of change, a quiet yet powerful shift occurs within you. It's as if a deeper part of you awakens, a part that no longer looks to the outside world for reassurance or proof. Instead, an unwavering faith emerges, a certainty that defies the uncertainty of your situation. This kind of faith doesn't come easily. It is forged through trials, through moments of doubt, and through long stretches of waiting when nothing seems to happen. At first, you might have relied on signs of progress to keep your hope alive. You looked for external markers that your breakthrough was near, answers to prayers, changes in circumstances, or signs from the universe. But when those visible signs didn't appear, something shifted. You began to realize that true faith isn't about what you see on the outside, but what you know on the inside. This inner faith is not shaken by the ups and downs of life. It doesn't waver when things go wrong or when obstacles arise. Instead, it becomes stronger, more rooted, because it no longer depends on what the world is showing you. This faith is a deep knowing, an inner conviction that even though nothing looks different, everything is already changing. It's a faith that says, I don't need to see it yet, because I know it's already happening. It's a mysterious thing, this faith. It allows you to walk through uncertainty with a sense of peace. You no longer need to force things to happen or try to control the outcome. You've released the need for constant signs and assurances because you've tapped into something greater and understanding that the universe is working on your behalf even when you cannot see it. You begin to trust the process, knowing that the timing of your breakthrough is perfect, even if it's not according to your schedule. In fact, this faith often arises in the moments when everything around you seems to contradict it. When life appears most uncertain, when your situation seems stuck, this inner faith becomes your anchor. You no longer need the external world to confirm what you already know within yourself. It's as though you've transcended the need for physical evidence, and now you operate from a deeper place, a place where you know that the restoration is coming, regardless of what your eyes or ears may tell you. What's beautiful about this kind of faith is that it is unshakable. Once you reach this place, it doesn't matter what storms come your way, what challenges you face, or how long the waiting continues. You've let go of the need for things to happen in a certain way or at a certain time. You understand that the path is unfolding exactly as it should, and you trust that whatever happens, it is leading you towards your breakthrough. This is not blind faith, but a faith rooted in experience of faith that has been tested and has come out stronger. In this place of unwavering faith, you find a sense of peace that cannot be easily disturbed. The external uncertainty no longer rattles you. The waiting no longer frustrates you. You've learned to live in the tension between the now and the not yet, with the full knowledge that everything is moving towards your restoration, even when you can't see it. You don't need to know how it will happen or when, because you trust that it will happen. This kind of faith is your greatest asset on the journey toward breakthrough. It allows you to keep moving forward, even when the road is unclear. It gives you the strength to face challenges without being shaken. It gives you the ability to wait patiently, knowing that the timing is out of your hands, but perfectly held by something greater. So when everything around you feels uncertain, and when the waiting stretches on longer than you thought possible, lean into this inner faith. Trust that even in the uncertainty, your breakthrough is already on its way. You may not see it yet, but that doesn't mean it isn't happening. In fact, this unwavering faith is the clearest sign that it's closer than ever. The external world may not yet reflect what you know within, but your spirit is already aligned with the coming restoration. This inner certainty is your guide, and it will not fail you. There comes a moment in every journey of waiting, striving, and longing when you realize that your deepest struggle isn't with the situation itself, but with your attachment to how it should unfold. You've set your hopes on a specific outcome, mapped out in your mind exactly how things need to happen for you to feel fulfilled, restored, or successful. Yet, despite all your efforts and desires, life doesn't always comply with your vision. This is where the real tension lies, not in the lack of results, but in the grip you've held on the outcome. At some point, the only way forward is to release that grip, to let go. And this act of letting go is not a sign of giving up. It is paradoxically a form of deep trust and liberation. You're not abandoning your dreams or your desires, but you're relinquishing the need to control the details of how they come to be. It's an acknowledgement that life, the universe, or God has a much broader perspective than you do. The breakthrough you seek may come in a completely different form than you imagine, but that doesn't mean it will be any less powerful or transformative. Letting go of attachment to the outcome is about releasing the tight boundaries you've placed on what restoration or success should look like. So often we believe that our happiness or breakthrough depends on things happening in a very specific way. But in doing so, we limit the possibilities. When you let go, you make room for something greater to emerge, something that may be far beyond what you could have planned for yourself. It's like holding a handful of sand. The tighter you squeeze, the more of it slips through your fingers. But when you open your hand, the sand can rest there easily. Similarly, when you let go of your tight grip on how things must unfold, you create space for life to surprise you in ways you couldn't have anticipated. You stop trying to micromanage every detail and begin to trust that there are forces at work far beyond your control, guiding the process in ways you can't yet see. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop forcing. You release the anxiety and the constant need to push things forward. It's about trusting the process, trusting that the universe knows the perfect timing and method for your breakthrough, even if it doesn't align with your personal timeline or expectations. When you let go, you're not giving up on your desires, you're simply giving them the freedom to manifest in their own time and way. There is a profound peace that comes when you release your attachment to the outcome. You no longer have to carry the burden of controlling everything. You can exhale knowing that you've done your part, and now you can allow life to do its part. This is a space of surrender, but not in the sense of defeat. It's surrender as an act of trust, a belief that whatever is coming is exactly what you need, even if it looks different from what you initially envisioned. In fact, many of the greatest breakthroughs happen precisely when we let go of our rigid expectations. When you stop obsessing over how and when things will happen, you open yourself up to unexpected opportunities, unplanned blessings, and possibilities that you couldn't have created on your own. It's in this space of openness that the real magic happens. When you are no longer fixated on one specific outcome, you begin to notice other doors opening, paths you didn't even see before because you were so focused on the one you thought you needed. Letting go also brings a sense of relief because you're no longer trapped by the pressure to make everything happen perfectly. You stop measuring your progress based on how close you are to your ideal vision and start appreciating the journey itself. You begin to see the small miracles along the way, the growth you're experiencing and the wisdom you're gaining even before the breakthrough arrives. Ultimately, letting go of attachment to the outcome is a practice of faith. Faith that what is meant for you will not pass you by, and faith that your restoration or breakthrough is already on its way, even if it's not arriving in the form you expected. It's about trusting that the universe is unfolding in your favor and that sometimes the greatest gifts come in the most unexpected packages. When you let go, you make space for the universe to work its magic in ways you never could have planned. You stop trying to force the river to flow in the direction you want and instead allow yourself to be carried by its current, trusting that it will take you exactly where you need to go. In this place of surrender, you find a freedom that allows your breakthrough to come naturally without resistance in its own perfect time. In the journey toward breakthrough and restoration, we often find ourselves caught between hope and doubt, striving and surrender. The silence before the storm, the unexplainable alignment of events, the renewed sense of purpose, and even the resistance we face, these are not random occurrences, but clear signs that transformation is near. They invite us to trust the process, to cultivate unwavering inner faith, and to release the need to control every outcome. As the pieces of your life seem to shift, sometimes without explanation, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or lost. Yet this is precisely when you must hold on to the deeper knowing within the quiet certainty that something greater is at work. Letting go of attachment to specific outcomes doesn't mean abandoning your desires, but rather embracing the unknown with trust and openness. When you release your grip on how things must happen, you open yourself to possibilities far beyond your imagination. Each moment of stillness, every challenge, and every surge of renewed energy is a part of your preparation. Your breakthrough is not just something that happens to you, but something that unfolds within you. So as you move forward, remember that the restoration you seek is already in motion. The signs are all around you. Trust them. Trust yourself. And most importantly, trust that the universe in its infinite wisdom is guiding you to exactly where you need to be. The breakthrough is closer than you think, just beyond the horizon, waiting for you to step into it with faith, courage, and an open heart.